everybody. Today I'm going to read you a story from Ajahn Brahm's book Good Bad Who Knows. We've changed it slightly and it's called Old Nuns Don't Lie. So every year Buddhist monastics in our tradition stop traveling and stay in one place for 3 months, the rains retreat period, just as we have done here at Santi. An old wandering nun arrived at the door of a poor family's cottage a few days before the start of the rains retreat. The family, although poor, were devoutly Buddhist. Having offered the nun some food, they invited her to spend her retreat period near them. They said, "We can build you a simple hut, Venerable Nun, in the forest next to the creek, and we will happily provide you with food. All that we ask in return is for you to teach us and guide our family in meditation from time to time." The old nun agreed. The 3 months passed peacefully. The parents, the children, and even the family dog grew to love the nun very much. They felt that she was truly wise and kind. At the end of the retreat period, when the nun announced that she was leaving, the whole family cried and begged the old nun to stay. "I'm sorry, but I cannot stay any longer," said the old nun. "However, because you have looked after me so well, I want to help you in return. A few days ago, in a very deep meditation, I saw that there is a huge treasure buried nearby. I would like you to have it. Please listen carefully. Follow my instructions, and you will never be poor again." The whole family stopped crying and listened intently, because they knew that old nuns don't lie. "At dawn, stand at the entrance of your little cottage. Take up your bow and 1 arrow. Point the bow in the direction of the rising sun, and when the sun appears over the horizon, let the arrow fly. Where the arrow falls, there you will find a great treasure." Having given these instructions, the old nun left. The following morning, the whole family woke up well before dawn and gathered outside their cottage, full of excitement. The mother stood at the entrance of the cottage with her bow and 1 arrow. The father was carrying the spade. It seemed as though the sun took forever to rise above the horizon that morning. When it finally rose, the mother shot the arrow in the direction of the sun. They all ran after it, dashing through the woods. As they came to where it fell, the mother handed the spade to her husband and told him to dig. Deeper and deeper he dug. What did he find? Nothing, only trouble. The arrow had landed in a field belonging to a rich man, and he caught them red-handed. "You can't dig a hole here. This is private property," shouted the rich man. "I'll sue you. I'll send you to jail." "It's her fault," pleaded the husband, pointing at his wife. "She told me to dig here." "It's the old nun's fault," said the wife. "He promised that we would find a treasure here." "Old nun?" asked the rich man. Something odd is going on. I'm a Buddhist too, and old nuns don't lie. What were the instructions she gave you?" They repeated the old nun's instructions to the rich man, and he exclaimed, "Oh, I know where you've gone wrong. Look at you, you're a poor family. You're too weak and thin to shoot an arrow properly. Let's make a deal. Tomorrow I will shoot the arrow, and when we find the treasure, we'll split it 50-50. The poor family had little choice but to agree. So the following morning, the rich man was holding the bow and arrow at the entrance, waiting for sunrise. This time it was the wife's turn to dig. As the sun appeared over the horizon, the rich man shot the arrow. It flew much further. They all ran after the arrow, and where it landed, the wife dug a big hole. What did she find? Nothing, only trouble. The arrow had landed in a plot of land belonging to an army general, and he captured them. "You can't destroy my land," screamed the general. "I'll order my soldiers to cut off your heads." "It's his fault," pleaded the wife, pointing it to the rich man. "He told me to dig here." "It's the old nun's fault," said the rich man. "She promised that we would find a treasure here." "Old nun?" asked the army general. Something odd is going on. I am a Buddhist too, and old nuns don't lie." "What were the instructions she gave you?" Having listened to the old nun's instructions, the general declared, "I know what the problem is. Only a trained soldier like me can use a bow properly. Let's make a deal. Tomorrow I'll shoot the arrow, and when we find the treasure, we can split it 3 ways." So the following morning, the general was holding the bow and arrow at the entrance, waiting for sunrise. This time, the rich man was holding the spade. It was his turn to dig. When the sun appeared over the horizon, the general expertly shot the arrow. It went a very long way. They all ran after the arrow, and where it landed, the rich man dug a hole. What did he find? Nothing, only trouble. The arrow had landed in the garden of the royal palace, and the queen's guards arrested all of them. Soon they were brought, bound in chains, before the queen. "It is a capital offense to destroy the royal garden," said the queen. "Why did you do this?" "It's his fault, your highness," said the general, pointing to the rich man. "It's their fault, your majesty," said the rich man, pointing to the family. "It's that old nun's fault, dear queen," pleaded the family. "She said that we would find a treasure." "Old nun?" asked the queen. Something strange is going on here. I'm a Buddhist too, and old nuns don't lie. What were the instructions she gave you?" When the queen heard the old nun's instructions, she couldn't understand what had gone wrong. She sent out her soldiers to find the old nun and bring her to the palace to explain. The old nun was soon found and brought before the queen. "Old nun," said the queen with respect, "you've got all these people into big trouble with your fictional tale of treasure. Can you explain yourself?" "Your Majesty, it is not a fiction. Old nuns don't lie," explained the old nun. "They didn't find the treasure because they didn't follow my instructions. Why don't you come to the poor family's cottage tomorrow? I will guarantee you will find the treasure. But I ask that it be divided equally between your Majesty, the general, the rich man, and the poor family." The queen agreed. So it was that the poor family, the rich man, the general, the old nun, and the queen were at the cottage early the next day. The queen stood at the entrance of the cottage at dawn. She turned to the old nun for confirmation. "Correct, your Majesty," said the old nun. The queen took up the bow and 1 arrow. "Correct, your Majesty." The queen pointed the arrow in the direction of the rising sun. "Correct, your Majesty." When the sun appeared over the horizon, the queen was about to shoot the arrow when the old nun shouted, "Stop!" The queen froze in confusion. "Incorrect, your Majesty. I gave the instructions to let the arrow fly, not to shoot it." Being wise, the queen immediately understood. She let go of the arrow, and it fell straight down, landing between her feet, right where she was standing. A shallow hole was dug, and they found such a large treasure that 1/4 was enough to satisfy a queen. So how much more did it satisfy the poor family? The old nun further explained, "When you shoot the arrow of craving over here and over there, aiming to find happiness, you usually find nothing, only trouble. But if you let go of the arrow of wanting, It falls right where you are standing. In the here and now, you will find the greatest treasure, contentment, more than enough to satisfy even a queen. So in short, contentment is the greatest treasure that we can have. And just for the record, young nuns don't lie either. Thank you for listening.